now and later. It is Thursday, May the 20th, 2021. Most of the time I'm pretty convinced I'm Robert Beatty. At least that's my costuming. And I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon. This is a broadcast of it's a thing, an interaction of the Portland Insight Meditation community. Those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, please, if you wish to have more connectedness with the community, go to robertbeatty.com and you can find the link there. You can also find it on portlandinsight.org, as well as a ton of other very helpful information, including the other teachers at PIMC and when they teach. I don't know if this will work. Will it? Can you see that picture? I'll tell you what it says. This is the other picture that goes with it, taken by my dear friend and guitar teacher, Steve Einhorn. It's Pete Seeger. They were good friends with Pete. His banjo says, "This machine surrounds hate and forces it to surrender." This machine surrounds hate and forces it to surrender. I think we could say that about this practice. This practice surrounds greed, hatred, and ignorance and converts it into love and wisdom, compassion. So that said, let's just simply sit. Meditation is the ultimate revolutionary act. It creates the ground in consciousness that allows actions to be fruitful. In a certain way, it seems like a long time since we were last together. In another, did we ever part? Did all that stuff that occurred in the last, what we call 24 hours, was it, quote, real? Is it more real than the dreams, the night dreams? What's true right now? And let's remember, let us remind ourselves of taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The world would have us be very busy. It's quite successful, isn't it? But before or underneath, we can remember I take refuge in the Buddha, in being awake, in the task of shaping this consciousness into something of great beauty. I take refuge in the Dharma, in the teachings, in the precepts, in the way things actually are. And I do it in the company of my friends, my Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. One way I understand the refuges is that the first order of business all day is being awake. Not just awake from sleep, of course, but awake to know, oh, this is seeing, this is emotion, this is striving. This is irritation. This is despair. This is excitement. This is hunger. This is storytelling. This is being awake. And so we come home to the body. Home to this body. Notice how it sits here, how it touches the chair, how it breathes. Perhaps reminding ourselves of the nature of this attention, this mindfulness, this curiosity. And that we attend as best we can with what's called bare attention to the sensations of breathing as they are, to which the word breathing doesn't even really attach well. It's actually the life of the body as it breathes in and breathes out. And the same with thoughts, the contents of which are of no importance for meditation. The fact of thoughts is of crucial importance. The dream state in which we live most of the time. But we know thoughts as thoughts, or thoughts as thinking. The body is sitting, touching. The breath as sensations. We practice with great curiosity. What's happening? Which of the 7 enlightenment factors are present now? Is there mindfulness? Is there curiosity? How about persistence and effort and energy? Or concentration? Is the mind tranquil? Is it blessed with equanimity, the capacity to accept what is, whether pleasant or unpleasant? And is that quiet delight that comes from within when the mind is balanced. Is that present? It's such a relief to know what to do. Come home to breathing. Be curious about the very beginning of each breath. How does it happen that it begins? Be curious about the wandering mind. How does it happen that the mind wanders off? And then, perhaps even more interesting, how does it happen that it wakes up, that there's knowing of the wandering mind? If the mind tends to be rather dispersed right now, getting lost in wandering mind, in storytelling, in mood, one option is to rededicate the practice to concentration with breathing. Or perhaps add a mantra. Breathing in calm body. Breathing out, calm mind. So as the breaths come and go, there's this reminder that uses also another region of the brain to entrain it with concentration. On the in-breath, calm mind. The out-breath, calm body. Calm mind. Calm body. There is absolutely no violence or coercion in this. Neither of those work in the outer world or the inner world. Calm mind, calm body. The moment is always now. The flow of the ripening of karmic seeds from the past as vipaka, as the context of this moment, as the experience of this moment, flows on like the seasons, like the sunrise. Sometimes it's very sweet, sometimes very challenging. But the practice is always very simple. This moment is like this. How shall I respond? What karmic seed shall I fertilize or plant in this moment? And universally helpful is mindfulness. Universally helpful are loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. So we know what to do. And there's no predicting what will ripen in any particular moment. But we have the refuges. We have this mysterious and incredible capacity of mindfulness. Each breath has its beginning. We're very used to lots of strong stimuli. The culture never allows or encourages us to never allow a moment of inactivity or productivity, intense entertainment. Learning to attend to the inner life, what could be called opening the third eye, is a matter of learning how to pay attention to more subtlety, to be more sensitive than ever. So again and again we interest the mind in the mood that's present. What is the mood? Moods color everything. Is the mood you, or is it a mood? I'm going to close our meditation this morning by playing a song. It was written by a fellow named John Kellerman at the time of my 50th birthday. Who would have thought it would be around 23 years later? And it goes like this. I just invite you, just let it flow through.
Make the most of this moment and be totally here. Still can't figure out what it's all about, but it's begun to come clear. What we take for reality is just a vision of what we can see, and it's so much more than it seems to be as far as we know. So mysterious and strange, all in process, continual change. Anything that seems to stay the same is just moving real slow. Make the most of this moment and be totally here. Still can't figure out what it's all about, but it's begun to come clear. What we do is what we are, so much more than the ashes of stars. We can choose to change, but we can't stay the same. Always going, we never arrive. Even the dead may be really alive. It's all just rearranging the material plane. Make the most of this moment and be totally here. Still can't figure out what it's all about, but it's begun to come clear. We can't lose what we can't save. We're no more than the crest of a wave. We're here and gone as the patterns roll on. We all die, so what's to fear? Might as well be glad that we're here. We're bound to disappear into a different form. Make the most of this moment and be totally here. Still can't figure out what it's all about, but it's begun to come clear.
In just a little while, this togetherness will end. We will set off into the adventures of today. Imagining your day ahead of you. Is it a day you're leaning into, looking forward to? Or is it perhaps a day you're leaning back out of and really don't want to enter? Is there someone you're going to see today or deal with today you don't want to deal with? Where you'll have to practice forbearance and care with what you say? Or are you leaning into the future? Maybe there's someone you haven't seen for a long time that you're looking forward to being with one way or another. To some degree, we can form an intention to stay awake, to remember time and again, oh yes, this is driving the car. This is putting the dishes in the dishwasher. This is stepping out of the shower. I can do this mindfully. And so now, please, there will be a gong. And as the gong winds down, please notice the intention to open the eyes, and then let them open with the eyes of blessing, the eyes of kindness. This is a pretty remarkable gong that rings for a long time. I think it's wonderfully symbolic of the ringing of mindfulness throughout our day and down through the ages, that we strike the mindfulness. Thich Nhat Hanh speaks about the mindfulness bell, and anyway, they used bells very nicely in that community. But we this morning have struck mindfulness. It's resonant. And so with the slightest effort, it can persist all day, until we mysteriously find ourselves right here again at something that we call tomorrow. Such a strange thing. Jim, is there an announcement thing that I should do that I'm not even thinking of? I have such lack of interest in announcements. It's a weakness on my part.
Well, I know that Doug is going to be on tonight, as usual, and Doyle is going to be on tomorrow at noon. I think it's a quiet week, a quiet Sunday for Candle. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. So, dear friends, how is life manifesting for you? How is your practice? How is this mysterious thing we call mindfulness affecting your relationships with everything?
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Sangha.
I
It's
hear Joe. Hi, Joe.
You do. How are you? I have something coming up, and I had a great state of anxiety about it. And I was able yesterday to recognize that it's just a thought, and it carries no value or meaning. It's just a thought of the future. So I kind of stopped it in its tracks yesterday. But as I was sitting this morning, it was like a seed in the ground. I could feel it. And you gave me this. I love tools, especially simple, effective tools. And I love this mantra. And it is a good mantra that I will use from now on. And thank you very much, because it goes right to exactly what I need to do. Calm mind, calm body. So thank you once again. I really appreciate it.
That very practice is in the Satipatthana Sutra. It was recommended by the Buddha 2,600 years ago. I mean, that's cool, isn't it?
It is very cool, and it works. It was a wonderful meditation this morning, and that helped me immensely.
Yay.
Hey, Robert, it's Neil.
Hello, Neil.
Hey, thanks for the great set this morning. I like the calm body, calm mind thing was amazing. I'm going to use that indefinitely. I was having a bunch of emotional stuff come up from yesterday and this morning, and it felt like when I started to use it, I was trying to escape that state or those feelings or whatever. And I've been told when I sit, it's okay to, go to the breath or listen to sounds. And I don't know if it was escape. I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but I wanted to get out of the feelings I was having. And when I heard that, I was like, this is awesome. So anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, how wonderful that you knew the aversion to the state that was there, right? The disliking. That's great to be able to see that. And you could practice with just that and study the aversion. It's one of the three roots of suffering, right? Greed, hatred, and delusion, or greed, aversion, and delusion. But also having strategies to modulate what we're experiencing are very helpful. And concentration is a powerful modulation model. This is, in nuclear reactors, they have these graphite, these rods actually, that go down and they go between the radioactive cores and they absorb, the protons? They absorb whatever it is that's flying around in there that's heating things up. And so they can slow the reaction by lowering the control rods. That's their purpose. And we develop some skills like that in our meditation so that we can lower the control rods. We can actually modulate our emotions and If too much is happening, if there's uproar, we go into survival. And so it's very helpful to learn how to tone it down. Actually, it reminds me, this could be helpful to say, quite a long time ago now, I was very anxious and depressed. And it's kind of a long story, but one of my friends was a psychiatrist, and she stepped in front of me on a trail. We were having a walk, and she stepped in front of me and she said, "Robert, you have anxious depression. We recommend medication for that." And I said, "Oh, Peggy, I'm not suicidal or anything." And she said, "You're a therapist. You should know better than that." And she actually had samples of Prozac in her pocket that she had brought for the interaction. And I wound up taking SSRIs for 10 years. This antidepressants, different kinds. And what I experienced right at the very beginning was this uproar that was there all the time. I finally got a place of stability that I could actually do the meditative work that I had wanted and needed to do for a long time. So learning what skillful means are to bring the uproar level down enough so we actually can do some inward looking. It's very helpful. And concentration and practice with mantras is very legitimate. I mean, the Buddha taught it way back when. He taught that it's worthwhile developing the jhanas, which are very high, very powerful concentration states where nothing much happens at all. It's just quiet. So feel free to indulge in the mantra. Take a break.
Take a break. Okay. Thank you.
It's okay to rest and feel calm. Seems strange, of course, but...
Morning, Robert.
I hear a voice. It's Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hi. Good morning. Morning, Sangha. Well, it's been an interesting ride, and went to bed last night in some sort of suffering around desire and aversion, which I didn't recognize as such until I woke up this morning. And then it was like a light came on. Like, oh, the content is not what the suffering is about. The suffering is about desire and aversion. So that was freeing in itself. And it's funny how many times you can hear that in a retreat or from you or read it and then not be able to apply it when it's actually happening. But then when you can apply it, then it's really pretty freeing. And so it made for a very interesting meditation this morning. And I realized after sitting in it for a while and just experiencing the storm of it that it was backed by loneliness. And loneliness was driving this craving for contact. And so it's interesting that there was an emotion that was behind the whole thing. It was just a good noticing.
So I'm guessing you're back here in Portland right now.
Yes, I was just with a really amazing group of people, which is unique, right? We were all outside, but it was a large group of people. We were vaccinated. We were all outside, and there was so much contact and connection. And I think the sort of nervous energy, desire, aversion thing was coming from like the withdrawal of that, because there's been so little and it was so nice to engage in it. And Portland's a lonely place for me. So it was hard I didn't recognize that's what's going on, but I think that's what was happening. It's just, I'm ready to be back in the world, and the world's not quite ready for that yet.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yesterday afternoon, I was at the center and I shampooed the waiting room of my office. And that room has not been so clean in, I don't know, 15 years. I actually washed the baseboards. I mean, really getting into this thing. And it was interesting, looking forward to once again meeting people in person there. And we may know more about the permit stuff and the construction on this tomorrow, I hope. And there's a secondary project which is not part of the main project, which I'll be a little vague on details, but we're getting an additional gifts, probably an additional $40,000, with which we are going to redo the living room. There will be new carpet, new paint, new lighting. The ceiling will come out, and the sheet, what's it called? The asbestos will come off the ceiling, and it will be re-sheet rocked. And then there will be a plaque on the wall renaming the room the NATO family living room, in honor of the enormous gift, actually, of $500,000, which is allowing us to do all the modifications we're doing in this stage 1 of the making the center wheelchair accessible and the offices downstairs legal. So when you get to come back, if you're one of the folks who comes to the center, you will see quite a change in the living. Oh, and also we'll have blinds rather than those curtains. It's going to be a big change for the better. And I'll figure out, I guess what I'll do is take pictures and create a little slideshow so that those of you who don't get to come to the center will be able to see what's happening. And we will be continuing to, this I'll do from home, continue, but there will be other teaching that is available from the center. Big projects. And I guess I am doing some announcements on the diversity, equity, and inclusion front. The core, the beginning of committee met on Tuesday night, and some other people are being invited to join it. And there's a schedule and of getting together, of studying what other Dharma centers have done and are doing, and seeing if maybe we need someone to hire someone to do some training or help us investigate. So we're deeply into that one too. My bandwidth is a little bit overdone, but there are great people doing that. The core of that, the starting core is Vic Anantha, Danny Mankin, and Kendall Summers. And there's a person or two on here that I think that have been asked if you might like to participate. So, and there's also a move afoot to get feedback from the community in a variety of ways. So we're on the roll. Physical construction and internal construction, process construction.
Robert?
I hear Tim.
You. I have a respectful suggestion that the NATO family plaque brought up to me. And in the background is I worked in construction for many, many years. And built many, many, many houses and poured cement. And
you can swing a hammer, huh?
I used to be able to swing a hammer. One of the things I did along with that is a lot of damage to my body, which is normal in that industry too. But anyhow, my suggestion is that when you put up a plaque remembering the NATO family, somehow remember the people that did the work, that hung the sheetrock, that slapped the paint on the walls.
Brilliant. It will be done. When we have the ceremony, that will be part of our meditation.
Thank you. One of the reasons I left that industry, we built custom homes, mostly on Lake Oswego. And this was a long, long time ago, but these were extremely expensive, one-of-a-kind homes. And I did it for a long time. And I realized one thing that never happened, not once, is when we would go in and do every part of it. We'd clear the trees and take the dirt, everything. And when it was done, something that never happened once, never once did one of these rich people say, "Oh, would you like to come in and have a cup of tea and see what this place looks like now that we have furniture in it and we live in it?" Never happened once. So anyway, that's where that comes from.
I am grateful for your bringing that to my attention. And yes. That's the I in inclusion.
And the bitterness that I felt for that, it's good grist for the mill, good thing for me to work with.
Right, of course. Yeah. That's a great idea. We're also going to create a memorial garden of some kind where it'll be possible to sprinkle ashes, cremains, and we'll have some plaques. We already have several people who've requested to have their name there, or their loved ones have. And there's a ceremony for. I'm not sure now. I may be wrong. But David Morrison, who passed away just a few months ago, and who went into a holder with a whole bunch of dirt and other things. His 1,000 pounds of soil, which are what he's become, his body has become. His wife would like some of that to be at PIMC, so that's going to be part of the. We're going to bring the place back to life in a very beautiful way, and I hope that you will all be able to participate. You'll all take the opportunity. There's a poem. I forget who. We came back together and we, oh dear, I can't remember. Famous poem. And we met as though for the first time. But this time consciously, realizing that it's not guaranteed that we'll get to meet tomorrow. It's just not. I might enlist your memories. A couple of days ago, there were 2 things I said I was going to put on my blog, and then something happened here and I lost it. Do you remember what they were? I'll feel better if you don't, because then it's like, well, it wasn't the end of the world. But all right, I feel less incompetent.
Robert, Tamara.
Hi, Tamara.
Was it the Emerson poem? Or was that the one before that one?
I think it was the Emerson poem that
And the Life After Birth poem.
That's it. Oh, brilliant.
The Ron
Hurrah, huzzah.
Hang on. I want to write this down. I don't have a pencil here. Let me write it down on my phone. You're right. Good job.
Or not, it's the Emerson, whatever you read, with the Emerson about, I think, I forget quite what it's becoming what you want to be, or something like that. And then the Life After Birth one that I think David was talking about wanting to put on.
Yeah, it was the Ron Dwyer poem.
Hi, David.
Dwyer.
Okie doke.
All right. Yeah.
Over and out.
Over and out. Emerson. Okay. Good. Now we'll see. Now I have it written down. It has a higher probability of success. Well, I have a coffee date this morning with Ray Siderius. Do any of you know Ray Siderius? Dave does, yeah. Ray Siderius is really single-handedly responsible for there being massage licensure in Oregon. And we started out our work life, he had a career in insurance before we ever met, but we started out at the Ariadne Professional Center together with him and Julie Goodmestad and several other people that have gone on to really do good things in the world. So I haven't seen him in a long time. We're having coffee this morning, which means I need to go fairly soon. So, do we have any little people with us this morning? Any children? I don't see any. I saw Kat and kids for a while, but I think they got pulled into life. Oh, there's Kat. Hello, Kat. Are there kids? You could be a kid. We could all be kids. Well, let's close with Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. And sadhu. And let's be aware of the rumbling in our chests and the movement of the vocal cords and to really do this as a mindfulness practice. May all beings receive all blessings. So please unmute yourself if you wish. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Kind of low. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a lovely day, dear friends. May we remember that we are something so much vaster than this little frightened self.
Thank God.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye, Robert. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Tamara.
Hi, Tamara.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Had.
Bye, Eileen.
Bye. Goodbye, Lauren. Goodbye, Eileen. And Had. Live long and prosper.
And keep it up, yeah.
It's hard to do that. I'm not really there we are.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Till soon. All right, friends on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for being here.